Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you so much for tuning in to this particular commentary. Today I have some Batman slash Gotham Knights commentary for you guys. And this is basically a follow-up on a series that I've been working on, basically suggested by some of you here in the audience. Now, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to leave a like or maybe subscribe, whatever you wish to do. It really will help the channel moving forward. So let's move on to the video because this is a very interesting take on what I think is how the developers plan on structuring the villainy in Gotham Knights. Now, we've talked about potential villains that could surface in the game. My past few videos, I've actually highlighted the Scarecrow. I've also highlighted the Joker, and I even talked about Catwoman as some sort of an anti-hero character, rather than being, a major character, but having a side or some sort of a pivotal role in the game. But then we're going to move on to Harley Quinn. Now, this is a very challenging one for me because the source material is something that I've been digging into. For those of you who've been following, I got into trouble one time for questioning that, Tim was going to be a teenager in this game. So I decided, why the heck not jump into some of the literature. And it's been really interesting, actually. There's some really cool stuff there. I mean, I can't believe I've been missing out on a lot of the storylines. So I'm glad you guys kind of pushed me inadvertently into going to look at the comics and look at some of the books. And what I found is it's very hard to kind of navigate the storyline for Gotham Knights. Even the development team themselves have said this, but if you're even trying to put the pieces together and maybe try to juxtapose areas that you feel may show up in this game, I'm telling you, man, it's almost a hair-pulling, I would say, enterprise. But nonetheless, we're going to see if Harley Quinn basically can make it into Gotham Knights and what potential role she'll play. Now, I have to draw from the animated series where Harley Quinn has some sort of a weird history with Nightwing. It's a weird one, but at the end of the day, I don't think that's what we're going to be seeing here because there's a grave situation at hand and supposedly the Batman is dead. So if you're going to even say Harley Quinn will be in this particular game, then there's going to be a way that she has to be portrayed. And I think that way is she's probably going to be riding on I would say the presence of the Joker being in the game. If that's the case, that's one way anyways. It could be though that Harley Quinn maybe is a character that the Gotham Knights meet in passing, or they kind of in a sense somewhat encounter her, but she doesn't necessarily pose too much of a major threat. Now, I would compare that kind of a threat in a sense to be somebody like Poison Ivy. So perhaps they get to encounter her very shortly, and over the course of the game, she basically becomes a pivotal person for you that helps you in a sacrificial way. This might work. This is me trying to maybe just kind of stitch this together to be very fair and to be very frank, because I really don't see how she does work. In fact, if there's anybody that I see that works even better from what I've been looking at in the comics, it's actually Poison Ivy herself. But again, that's basically based on that Gotham Knights series of comics where Batman is actually alive. So how are you going to take these heroes and basically take the villains that are Batman-based villains to try to capitalize on a good story, I would say a good story arc? And here's how I think this can apply to even the other characters or the others in the rogue gallery. I think what it needs to be is, once they hear the news that Batman has basically gone out of the picture, I feel like any character can now be used to start to expand their operations within the game. And how I mean is, if you think about Arkham Knight, pretty much the Scarecrow threatened the city and then emptied out the city and then used that as a way to start to expand on his plans, if you guys understand what I mean. So I think this might be the opportunity for, side villains or smaller villain groups or even the GCPD to continue to exert their influence while you as the player will use the Gotham Knights to clean up everything that's going on. At that point, you can start to see characters like perhaps Harley Quinn, maybe Poison Ivy, and some of these other characters come into the picture where you basically start to disrupt their work. And the way Arkham Knight, basically structures some of its other villains, I think was quite decent. It's not necessarily the greatest, but if you think about perhaps Mr. Pig and the way he left all these clues around the city for you to basically solve, and if you think about Man-Bat, the way, you had these sightings of him, I think these are things that could be used to highlight something like that. Perhaps, some crime is being committed somewhere, Harley Quinn is behind it, and now you have to send, the Gotham Knights to go check out what in the world is going on, and then they're able to come back with some sort of a report. This is where I think that the Gotham Knights story can benefit from Harley Quinn. But again, if you even kind of consider it, I might even go ahead as to argue that I don't think Harley Quinn needs to be in this game so that we don't get a lot of conflict, because if you even look at the Suicide Squad game, that's being set in the Arkham universe. So if you have a game in the Arkham universe and people are looking forward to seeing Harley Quinn as a major character, how do you intend to play her in another universe, in another Batman game? I think it'll be better served to do away with the character right now, focus on other characters that the fans have been asking about, and, flesh them out, because it will really serve the audience very well. Even though I have to tell you that I am quite impressed as to the way that Warner Brothers Games Montreal represented the young pre-Harley Quinn, Harley Quinzel in Arkham Origins. I mean, this is a studio that was able to kind of bring her story to the forefront, even from that, perspective. And I say I respect that way that they did it, but at the same time, it's going to be challenging, in my opinion anyways, to see it and envision it. But, that's why they hire writers there. They might be able to actually do it. They might be able to pull the darn thing off and actually give Harley Quinn a strong role if she appears in the game. So I'm not going to write her off. I'm just saying that because of the way the source material has been, in a sense, mixed in a blender to form Gotham Knights, it's very hard to kind of pinpoint the role that she's going to play. But you never know. There might be a string, there might be a small relationship that they take and actually make it something really good. And that's what I'm going to be spending my time finding out. So for those of you who think if Harley Quinn will be a good fit in this game, I can say there's a potential for that. But to be very frank, my personal opinion is that even though she may be a fit for the game, I just feel like she needs to be put basically in that Arkham universe and stay there. That's where I see her shining with the Suicide Squad, game and the Suicide Squad story. But you never know, man. All of this is still conjecture, and, it may be something that we get the exact opposite of what it is we're thinking about. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Enough of my ranting. I want to hear what you think. Do you think Harley Quinn will suit this game? Do you think she's going to be pretty much a character that shouldn't be in this game? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for your time and audience. Don't forget to hit that like button if it's something that you want to do. And I guess I'll see you guys, hopefully, in another video. Peace out.